check players who would kick you in the ass when you begged him for repentance. Those tempted by the senses with the cruelest of intentions. Charlie's heart sank, he was breathless. Excuse me, sir, there must be someone you confuse me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform.
Okay, let's get into it. It was actually funny as I was supposed to record this like 4 days ago, but I didn't because there was so much happening and I wanted to wait until it's done. And right now, I think it's done. So let's get started. And last time I promised a bit of structure, so first I'll start responding to comments because there has been actually quite a couple. First of all, Pandashan, okay guys, so I did some off-camera mining, but to be honest, the idea is absolutely great and too ambitious is never the issue, so I believe it's gonna work. Here's the thing. First of all, thank you very much, I appreciate that. And second of all, we have had so many ideas that seemed too ambitious on the surface, only for us to actually make it happen just like that. So I agree. The charity honestly is going to be incredible. It's already registered. I spent like 8 months fighting to get the foundation registered, and it's kind of... The foundation is incredible. Oh my goodness, the library is finished. We'll get into that later. The point is, yes, I agree it's not ambitious, I appreciate your support, and it's incredible to see what we've been able to achieve so far. The lack of anyhow is disgusting. Anyhow, with the bakery you are cooking, don't you dare pick on my language. I wanted to be just open. I wanted to speak in a way that most people would understand. I coined the phrase anyhow. Don't you dare take that away. Also, do I need like aspiring to access the rules? First of all, nice profile picture. I really like the change. And second of all, no. Aspiring is just to access the most basic features of the site. You don't actually need to access the rules, although the documentation on the website we're still working on. We're understaffed in that department. If any of you would like to help, just let me know. We really need help. Look, it sounds like a very interesting idea, but the downside is that you'd end up exhausted and stuck with a pile of unfinished projects. In other words, you'd be burned out. Other than that, the idea is amazing and creates motion in your community. Haha, you fool! I'm already exhausted and burned out. Here's the thing. If I'm going to be frankly honest with you, I don't really enjoy most of the work I do. Most of the work I do is boring. Keeping the foundation alive is boring, it's exhausting, and you don't really have much time to rest. The reason why I do it is for the effects. The effects are what actually bring me up. The effects are what actually allows me to get out of bed in the morning. So I'm not worried about burning out. I have been burned out for a long, long time. I have been exhausted for a long, long time. That's not a worry for me. What is a worry is if the things I do are actually useful. That's what's important. As long as they are useful, I'm fine. Thought it was a good idea, but don't you already have a lot to do? Look, you can't get more time of a day than 24. I would have disagreed at the time, but after yesterday, I will say that's a fair point. Yesterday, I woke up at 8 in the morning. Someone asked me for a live stream and I said, you know what, I just have this one quick thing to finish on the website, and then once I'm done, I'm gonna stream. I have this whole like circuit I'm building, it's very fun. And then I got to work and I stood up from my PC at 10 p.m. because I was too exhausted to continue. The work's still not finished. So only today morning did I actually finish what I was supposed to do. So yeah, maybe I may not have actually enough time in my day. The fact that you're willing to do this without even being paid for it is just peak. It's actually worse. Not only am I not getting paid for it, I paid in the Founders Fund and I'm broke now. No, but jokes aside, it's fine. There are many people who, you know, work in for the charity, so it's fine. And speaking of that, do I have something fun to announce? It's a project that we have been planning for a couple of months now, and for a couple of weeks, Remco has been working hard on it with his team. And yes, you may notice that I said Remco. Yeah, it's not a website feature, it's education. Remco has been planning a series of lessons about physics that would start with the very basics of classical mechanics and build up to some actually pretty advanced topics. Those lectures will be interesting. I've already been seeing the progress there. I've already read the paper and it honestly is incredible, and you will see next Monday. No, not this Monday, only next one in the evening. Terms and conditions may apply, the time may vary and change. I don't want to make any promises on Remco's side because Remco has been in charge of this. You will see, all right? I won't spoil anything, nor will I overpromise. You will just see. All I can say that is going to be great. Remco is a great teacher, and he has really been over this. It's quite amazing. And if you would like to help him, right there, the blue button. You click it, you go there. Whoa! Get us to make more physics resources. I'd sure like that. You click it, and there we go. Ulule page. We got the donations back. For those who don't know, the donations have been tricky because, first of all, it took us like, what, 8 months? 7 months, something like that, to get the foundation registered. And afterwards, we were planning to use Molly to collect donations, but Molly told us to go suck an egg. So then we were planning to use this other service, but this other service told us that we had to exist for at least 2 years before we could use different currencies than the Polish one, which is useless. So then we moved on to Stripe, and Stripe worked fine until they told us to suck an egg like a couple of weeks ago. And so plan B, Ulule, which hopefully they won't tell us to go suck an egg because they seem to be made for charities. And yes, the issues that Molly and Stripe had with us was that we were effectively a charity, which as far as I'm aware, they deem to be too high risk, which is hilarious. But Ulule seems to be made for charities, so, or at least fund projects like that. And so hopefully they won't kick us off, they won't tell us to go suck an egg. And right there is a donations page. If you would like to help Remco, go there and I will set up a second one soon for the website work. The idea is simple. Everything we're doing right now, we're doing for free. Like, I mean it. No one is getting paid anything. Everyone who has been a part of the charity did this as a volunteer. I would like to change that. Simply because if Remco was, for example, hired by the charity, he would have more time to work on the physics resources, which is better for everyone. If Caper and Edu were hired by the charity, they would have more time to work on the website, etc., etc., etc. So if you could donate, if you're in a position to donate, I would really appreciate that. It would really help us a lot, and we would be able to spend much more time and effort to get everything going. So there we go. Donate if you can. And now we go to the main prize of this video, believe it or not. Like, yes, the educational material does a shock and awe, most certainly. That one is great. But that one is more like an announcement, right? That one, I can't really say anything yet because it hasn't happened yet. Now on to things that have happened. The new library. We have changed it again. And effectively, the way we changed it is, I could tell you the database schema change that triggered it all, but it's technical, so it doesn't really matter. What does matter is that, first of all, the much smaller change is in the list. You have filters now, which is somewhat nice. And second of all, the much, much, much larger change is the new relevant page, which looks like this. Okay, I know it may only seem like a visual change, but trust me, it's not. Previously, when you were uploading a paper, you could only upload a paper. That's it, makes sense. Right now, when you're uploading a paper, you can upload a paper, or alongside it, you can upload the audio reading of a paper and a plate. We'll get to what a plate is in a second, but that's the basic idea. Right now, basically, you can end up with something like this, where you have your paper and you also have the audio version of the paper for accessibility reasons, which is really neat. It may seem small, but trust me, changing a database so that instead of accepting one file, it accepts n files, each of different type and role, isn't as easy on the surface as it seems, but we've done it because we're awesome. There is much more I would like to tell you about this, but once again, it's technical in a very boring way, unless you're specifically interested in databases, but an average person here is a physicist. And actually there was a whole bunch more I wanted to talk about right here. As you can see, there is quite a lot more, but I'm gonna cut it short, and that's because there has actually been a lot of changes between that recording and today. First of all, today at 10 in the morning, I woke up, decided to, just spend a little bit working on the website, just a little tiny bit. And 6 hours later, I have finished a completely new thread system, so that you can actually go and you can create a new message thread and you can post messages in those threads. So the thing is, the website is changing way too quickly for me to just make a video like that and just hope it will be relevant by the time it comes out completely. So instead, I'll need to be making a lot more of them, is basically what I'm saying. I'll mention what SCPs are next time once they are actually on the website.